on one level, I think they are very helpful in the secular world. Like, I think they can help people who are to sit down in a room and be very rational, because it relies on reason. It's logical. Right? It's applying to the left side of the brain to think through these steps, and only if we can satisfy these can we entertain the use of violence. I think the principles are helpful because the premise of the just war theory is to not justify war, but to limit or leave it as an option never chosen. And I think they still function really well that way. For instance, proportionality.
Yeah.
In the modern age, we tend to overdo violence.
Yeah.
Right? When we could use a slingshot, we use a bazooka. Right? So I think your question was, are the principles of the just war theory still operative? Are they still helpful for us? I'd say yes, because we are people that, in many of our deliberations, try to move beyond emotion and to be rational. And it is a rational construct. It applies to the use of reason. So I would think in the secular world, so to speak, it applies. So we go through, was it declared by a legitimate authority, right? And in our nation, say, legitimate authority would be the Congress.
Yeah.
Is by law declaring war, right? Which they did. Come close to, I don't know if they actually declared it, but they pretty much agreed with the administration to go to war.
Yeah.
Right? In the modern age, of given how much impact that was having on other nation states, it would also move us to proceed to get approval from the UN, according to the contemporary application of the principles, right? Which, if I recall, then we never really got full approval. We testified, we sent our Secretary of State, Colin Powell, to the UN, to the Security Council. I'd have to go back in my recollection. I don't know if we ever asked for their approval.
We just said this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing, I think, if I recall that. So that's that principle. Was it our last resort? By all means not. Right? We know that it was not our last resort. There's so much more we could have done before using violence in that case. Proportionality. The operation was called, do you remember the name of it when we invaded Iraq?
Is it Iraqi freedom?
Nope.
No.
Operation Shock and Awe.
Really?
Very interesting.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, Operation Shock and Awe. And that in itself, I think, tips us off about the proportionality.
Yeah.
Right? We weren't interested in being proportional. We wanted to shock and awe and say, whoa, they're going to be awestruck by our power. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I think applying the principles of the just war theory to this, I would think, I at that time too felt we did not meet the requirements of the just war theory.